Aha, we are live. So, right quick, for those of you who are looking for the Freedom Forum, this ain't it. I'll put one up a little bit later for that. But right now, I got a fucking mind to rip. I got an asshole to chew, I tell you. Because I literally, I find that convenience takes an act of God in Congress. Now, to put a little bit of context on this. I knew I wasn't going to be able to buy all of the equipment that I needed for my birthday present, and that's coming up here in a minute. But I was trying to purchase equipment to utilize my birthday present, and turns out they don't sell any of it. You have to make it yourself, all the fucking way across the board. And when I says all the way the fuck across the board, I mean down to the fucking caps. Down to the fucking lead. Down to the fucking whatever you put in that motherfucker. You gotta, and so that we're clear what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my birthday present to myself, which cost me an arm and a motherfucking leg, and I ain't even had a chance to even do much more than look at it and look pretty with it. Ladies and gents, this is a black powder pistol, so don't get your mind all on a twist or a tizzy. It is completely unloaded and it is completely safe. Any Hoosiers, this is the Buffalo Bore, or Big Texan, from Dixie Gun Works. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, here. This is Dixie Gun Works right here. Okay, this is their catalog. The particular pistol, as I'm talking at and about, happens to be that one right there. And so, as you know, you can purchase the pistol right to your doorstep. As you can see, fully functional. Okay. Works just fine. The pistol's great. Excellent. Good fit, finish, good polish, clean lines, beautiful wood handle. All right. And as you can see, completely unloaded. There's no caps on there. All right. And on top of that, it's completely empty in there. Okay. You can see daylight through them suckers in the back. If you look real hard, you could see daylight through there. There's no powder, no plug, no nothing in here. Okay, this is all completely unloaded. I'm pretty safe when I fucking handle firearms of any kind. So, any Hoosiers trying to purchase the equipment to be able to utilize this in order to become proficient and enjoy my birthday present here. In order to have that, I have to order from 4 different companies to get 4 different fucking items. And I have to pay a hazmat charge on every single fucking one of them because I'm ordering it from 4 separate fucking companies. That is $400 fucking dollars for something that should cost me less than $100. I got a fucking gripe with the goddamn these economist bullshit motherfuckers that don't know their asshole from a hole in the ground. Y'all want to know why people who go and purchase firearms and whatnot get so goddamn angry? It sure the fuck ain't because, oh, well, just, owning a firearm makes you crazy. No, let's be clear. Owning a firearm actually makes it so that you're more likely to be responsible with it and more likely to have a little more patience because you realize the necessity of that. However, this is what really fucking ticks me off. In order to make it so that people who are of a simpleton mind cannot get their hands on these things, it costs a fucking house mortgage to purchase half the shit you need. This is what I'm talking about by infringing on your rights. It doesn't need to be, oh, well, we're making No, it doesn't need to be legislation. All it needs to be is just this tiny little bit of fear that breaks the cycle and stops you from being able to protect yourself against bears, pumas, fucking wild dogs, let alone the human beings running around trying to fucking ace your ass while you're just sitting there paying no mind, sitting there with a fishing pole in your hand and your pistol on your hip. This is what I got a problem with. You cannot defend yourself in this fucking country because they make it impossible to, not because it's illegal. Y'all want to know why I got these veins sticking out of my head, motherfucker? I'm mad. I just spent $400 on my birthday present, and I will not be able to use this motherfucker until Christmas because one asshole got a wild hair up their ass to make it so that it's more difficult for you to go and enjoy yourself. Oh boy, I tell you what, man, I about lit a fucking, I about lit a damn stick of dynamite going up in them motherfuckers. I went to 4 different fucking companies. Mind you, 4 different fucking companies on the webs. Could not find all that I needed in one place at all. I actually have to go and get more money to be able to purchase the things that would have cost 3 times less if I would have been able to purchase it at one company. But because of hazmat charges, which is fucking retarded in my opinion, because the reality of it is, it doesn't matter if it's a lump of glass or a fucking lead brick or a fucking thing of explosives. You step on the gas and then stomp on the brake, that motherfucker's going through the back of your head. Now, it just may also happen that, you're going to destroy half the fucking freeway with a pound of black powder, but the situation remains as it's all fucking hazardous. So what's the fucking reason for the charge? You're passing on a price to a customer that don't even fucking exist because you want to go drive fast and take chances with other people's shit. You see where this is going? This is kind of fucking retarded. Y'all need to fucking get your asses out of your heads out of your asses. Stop wearing that motherfucker for a hat because that shit's fucking shoved so far down your eyeballs you can't see the rocket goddamn light of day. It make me madder than a fucking hornet's nest being used as a fucking pinata. As simple as I would like to go black powder hunting this year for rabbits. But I cannot do that because it will take 3 months, an act of God in Congress, and $400 fucking dollars to purchase 1 box of swaged balls, 1 box of fucking wads, 1 box of fucking primers, and 1 pound of fucking black powder. We're not even talking about the fucking powder measure in that. We're not talking about the hip flags. We're not talking about the cleaning equipment. We're just talking about the shit to operate the machine. $400 fucking for that. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. $40 extra for every purchase. That includes anything with powder, primers, lead, dangerous or toxic substances. What do you fucking think that grease is? Duh. What the fuck, people? $40 fucking extra on every single goddamn purchase. And I have to go to 4 different fucking companies to find everything I need. You see where I'm getting at here? It's getting more and more stupid. What would have cost me $100 is now going to cost me $400 after I already spent $400 to try and just be able to consider myself safe, protected from unwanted and untoward action. Literally a fucking act of God in Congress to enjoy a birthday present. As I said, if y'all are anti-gun or if y'all are this way or that way against this, that, and the other, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Plain and simple, because it's because of your bullshit that I am suffering, not mine. I have literally sat there and told people at the top of my motherfucking lungs, every single American citizen should be allowed to have modern firearms for their own protection, regardless of whatever the fuck they've done in the past, because the reality is that shit's in the past. Hakuna Matata, motherfucker. Y'all ruined my birthday. Fuck you, the horse you rode in on, and the motherfucking Meredith Saturday. Y'all need to burn in hell, and I'll be happy to find you a way there. That's bullshit, and you know it. I can't even fucking enjoy my birthday. Y'all motherfucker. Reason why I got this pistol was as a backpack gun so I could go fucking trout fishing. Y'all know that? I didn't even get this for, oh, this is going to be on my hip. I'm going to be like, you know, what's his name? A big iron. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. No, fuck that bullshit. I ain't trying to walk around being the biggest motherfucking swinging dick. I got a long barrel because I realize, hey, the longer the barrel, the more the bullet accelerates, the faster it's going, the more energy and potential it has when it hits the target. And believe it or don't, where I go trout fishing just so happens to be bear country. I can't get a modern firearm, so I turn to the one thing, the one fucking thing that I can actually utilize legally. And you motherfuckers make it impossible. And you wonder why people are pissed. You wonder why people are running around telling you that you're full of fucking garbage and shit and don't know your asshole from a hole in the ground, being one of these lefty lunatic motherfuckers that can't even goddamn fucking provide for their own children, let alone for themselves, and are sitting there trying to sex change motherfuckers without their consent. Y'all fucking think we got a problem with you. Motherfucker, you ain't seen shit yet. You come to my fucking doorstep, you come step on my toes, and you tell me I can't. Motherfucker, I'm gonna show you what this motherfucking thing can do other than utilize black powder. Because y'all fucking made that impossible. Now it's a fucking heavy-ass fucking piece of steel. It's a fucking club. Y'all done this to me. I didn't ask to be like this. I asked to be just treated like any other motherfucking American citizen. Just like anyone the fuck else. That's all I ever asked for. That's all I ever demanded. Was, I'm an American. I was born in this motherfucking country. My family fought and died for this fucking country. Y'all motherfuckers need to leave my fucking rights alone, motherfuckers, or you're going to be ending up with my boot so far up your ass that the fucking water on my knee quenches your motherfucking thirst and my fucking foot tickles your brainstem. Somebody need to fucking get their ass whooped for this. Why the fuck are we coddling these goddamn pussy-ass motherfuckers when all the reality is they need to get up off their motherfucking high horse, go and get themselves in a fucking situation where they can't come back from and realize their problems? Because I'll tell you right fucking now, 100%, If I had a firearm at the moment that I was stabbed in the motherfucking chest, I would not have been stabbed in the motherfucking chest. That is not my fault. Y'all motherfuckers made it impossible. And when I say y'all motherfuckers, I'm talking about the left-wing lunatics. I'm not talking about my particular constituency who happens to be my friends. I'm talking about these dumb motherfuckers that can't get their asses off of their fucking heads for long enough to be able to see the goddamn light of day. I ought to put my foot so far up their ass that my fucking, their eyeballs pop out. And it pops their ears. These motherfuckers got a problem and they need to have it fucking solved. This is stupid. Y'all motherfuckers made it impossible for me to enjoy my life. That is a violation of the pursuit of happiness as denoted in the preamble of the United States fucking Constitution. If I need to go further, then I got one fucking solution for you. Take your ass the fuck out my country. Get your ass up, walk the fuck across the border, and do not come back. Because this place was built for people like me. By people like me. Fucking ruin my birthday and then expect me to be nice about it. Expect me to be all Mr. Oh, it's all right. I'm sorry. I'll help you. I ain't fucking patting your ass no more, motherfuckers. Get up off your high horse and fucking skin that smoke wagon and get to going. Otherwise, shut the fuck up and sit down. Because you ain't doing shit. You're just making it hard for other people to enjoy their lives. Plain and fucking simple. There is nothing more simple than that. It is literally detailed for you. Your complaining makes other people have to work around your complaining, which makes it so that other people cannot pursue their happiness, cannot enjoy their lives, and cannot have their liberty. And that is not my fault. That is not fault of people like me. That is the fault of motherfuckers like you sitting there pussified. Oh my God, he got a gun. Oh my God, oh my God. Motherfucker, you gotta be fucking, you better be fucking happy. Happy. That people like me keep that motherfucker in a holster until you start off on your shit. Because the reality is, we're pissed. And y'all done this. Didn't nobody else fucking do this. Y'all stepped on our dick so many fucking times, we're looking around wondering if we need to get a prosthesis. There is something wrong with y'all. There is something rotten in D.C. And motherfuckers, y'all need to get up off your asses and do something. Plain and simple. All of this started because of a simple fact. I spent more money than I have for a month to be able to feed myself, for a way to protect and provide for myself. Thank God I got fucking air guns. Because if it wasn't for my air guns, I'd be up shit's creek. It takes an international act, God in Congress, $400 fucking in order to get one set of load. One fucking set. That's $1 of round ball, $1 of fucking primers, $1 of wadding, and $1 of powder. Literally. What the fuck? Now, for those of y'all that come by to actually see what I got for my birthday, there you go. There it is. There she is in all her glory. And y'all do prepare to go over to the Freedom Forum, have yourself a good old time, have fun. Matter of fact, it is, I'm still pissed. I'm going to be raw pissed for a couple of days now. Because the reality is that, you know, I've had this for 4 fucking days. 4 days. have not been allowed to, I can't shoot it in my backyard. That's fine. Whatever. You know, I'm not mad about that. I'm mad about the fact that I can't go fucking trout fishing. I mean, yeah, I could go trout fishing, but I might end up as a bear snack. Whereas, if I had this, well, then I ain't got to walk around with this motherfucker worried about bears. Or people thinking that I'm trying to go and shoot somebody because I got a big old motherfucking big ass gun on my back. Instead, the lovely thing about this pistol is she fits right there. Backpack gun. So I can protect myself while I'm out in the woods, fishing, hiking, hunting, gathering, things like that. That's what I got the pistol for. I ain't get it to go and be all flashy and, you know, Mr. fucking Marty Robbins, Big Iron and all that shit, like I said. Simply got it so that I could have something in my backpack, go out there fishing, ain't got to have a big old fucking rifle on my back. And it still has the impetus to put down fucking threats. It bothers me that I have to go through, well, let's see, like half a dozen companies to get half the shit I need for 3 times the prices it would cost, or 4 times the prices it would cost if I simply bought that shit from the fucking store. And mind you, before I went online to go and look this up, I went to 2 different stores. 2 different stores looking for this goods. One was True Value Hardware. They carry freaking outdoors goods all the time. But apparently, ever since this horse shit about fucking assault rifles came about, they've stopped carrying anything black powder. Anything black powder. And I mean anything. Fucking everything black powder is not being carried by them. You can't buy caps. I literally walked into this place. I says, I'm looking for caps, ball, powder, and wad for 44 caliber. The lady turns around and says, we don't carry any of that. And I says, any of it? And she says, any. Because our suppliers don't carry that. Now, I know for a fact that True Value, that's Smith and Edwards, by the way, if y'all didn't know, some of those other places around. Smith and Edwards is owned by True Value. Smith's grocery chain is also owned by True Value. And Midwest is owned by True Value. Now, if you didn't know, 2 out of those 5 are actually muzzle loader and military supply companies. Smith and Edwards and Midwest. But, you know, we don't sell black powder. We don't sell caps. We don't sell ball. We don't sell wad. Even though that's, you know, our company fucking name. I about fucking flipped my lid on that one. So then I decided, all right, well, I'm going to go elsewhere. I'm going to go look elsewhere. So I went to another store. Turns out they're not here anymore. They went out of business because people in this motherfucking town are so goddamn scared of their own fucking shadow that if they see somebody with a gun on their hip, they go fucking ape shit and lose their minds. Mind you, this is a town entirely built on the precedents of veterans, victims of violent crime. Basically, pretty much everybody in this town are real, like, they're the kind of folks that don't go out looking for trouble, don't go out looking for nothing like that, don't want to start no shit, just want to be left the fuck alone. But because of a couple of small, obscure fucking ass end out there laws that nobody fucking knows about, and on top of that are illegal, or sorry, unlawful. Don't want to get the two confused here. They are unlawful. But these people, they think that, you know, just because they're unlawful doesn't mean that, no. If it's unlawful, it doesn't fucking apply at all. It's just words on a paper. And if you want to test that theory, then I'll put it this way. Yes, the judge is the one who actually makes the decision. The police might shoot you before the judge makes the decision. But here's the fucking difference. Both of those motherfuckers can end up in prison or on death row for shooting you because you followed the law. So as it were, stop being a pussy. Cowboy up. Motherfuckers goddamn piss me off. Can't even fucking go and purchase the supplies as I need because it takes an act of God, Congress, and a fucking fat ass wallet to be able to do it. I mean, seriously, $400 fucking dollars for the pistol itself, then $400 for all the shit that I need to get it because I can't buy it at one fucking company. I got to go to fucking 6 different fucking companies to buy 4 different fucking products, if you know what I'm saying. It's kind of stupid. She is a pretty pistol. I love that fucking pistol. I love it. It's beautiful. It is. It's a further expression of my demeanor. But I want to just goddamn fucking. I want to go and walk in and just be like, well, son, you feeling lucky today? Motherfuckers piss me off, I swear. I mean, all over something that, you know, yeah, I can make this shit at home. Do I want to? Fuck no. There's a reason behind it. You can, even when you're as good as I am with chemicals, you can make mistakes. Okay? Plain and fucking simple. You can make mistakes. And mistakes will get you hurt. Anyways, I wanted to go ahead and show this off one more time for my cousin who's here in the chat, because he didn't get to see this thing in all of his glory. He only got to see a picture, a snippet of it, a little postage stamp was work. So here is it where, in all her glory, she is pretty. Now, mind you, that is 12 inches, if you didn't notice, 12 inches of barrel length. That barrel is as long as my forearm. I know, big ass gun. This gun is pretty freaking heavy, but I'm getting used to it already. It's like, this feels like I could use it to stop a bear. Without anything in it, never fired it once, never done none of that. Just the fact of how long the barrel is, what I know about scientific, you know, and all that. Black powder, the way it's supposed to act. For every inch, that's 1,000 feet per second. Every inch of barrel, 1,000 feet per second. Or no, 100 feet per second. Sorry. My bad. For every inch of barrel is 100 feet per second. if you get 12 inches of barrel, you get 12 to 1500 feet per second, depending on how hot and fast the powder burns. Because of the fact that it's a longer barrel, you get more of a detonation than a deflagration. Okay? Yeah, longer barrel, moving much fucking faster. This would be almost like shooting 44 Magnum. Almost. Not the same recoil so much as it's the same amount of energy down there. You know what I'm saying? Also, one of the beauties of this particular pistol is, if you notice, it has a hammer lock in between each cap. And that hammer lock is actually the safety mechanism for this. You pull the trigger all you want, ain't gonna go off. Okay. You also have a half cock safety. You can pull the trigger, but you can't pull the trigger. It won't pull. I'm actually putting some impetus on it. It won't pull it. Okay. You have to pull the hammer back all the way before it will fall forwards. So that's one of the beautiful things about this pistol, is it's actually designed with safety to an extent in mind. Okay, this is actually designed to be carried, whereas a lot of black powder pistols out there were not really designed to be carried so much as they were designed to be like, okay, well, it'll work. This was designed to be carried, along with a few other pistols out there. A few other patterns were designed to be carried. All the rest of them, you got to leave one of these little nipples empty, so that on the off chance that you jump down, that pistol coming down in your holster doesn't cause that hammer to slam forward just enough to fire off that round. You can put the cap on after the fact, and it's the same as not having a bullet in the chamber, because you don't have it primed. You see, I actually am having to go through 4 different companies. 4 different companies. 6 if you count, the 2 establishments I went to in town. And then 7 if you count the manufacturer. They don't even carry the fucking shit to shoot through it. That was a bit of a wake-up call for me. Dixie Gunworks. Y'all fucking sell the guns, you manufacture the shit, but you don't sell the powder, the primers, the water, the ball. You could have saved me fucking $300 and made me that much happier about it. Mind you, still, professional as all hell, excellent quality equipment. And when I says excellent quality, I mean excellent quality. This thing is so pristine. Listen to this. I want y'all to listen. It's even got its own detent stop lock from rotating backwards. It's just, oh my God, such a beautiful pistol. And it's got a hammer lock safety. I like that, because, and on a black powder pistol, hammer lock safety is with the hammer depressed, not set back. Okay, this is what's called a half cock safety. This is the hammer safety on a black powder gun. Again, you can pull the trigger, it's not going off. Back here, even though you can't pull the trigger to set it off, it's a mechanical safety, which means it's prone to failure, instead of a detent safety, meaning that this cannot go off until you pull this hammer back. See the difference there? You got to pull the hammer back, and then it actually cannot, okay? It can't go off on its own. It has to have the trigger pulled. So that is why I like this. This is fucking amazing gunsmithing. I love it. That being said, still can't shoot it. It's just looking pretty. It's just a fucking pretty looking paperweight at this moment. Because can't purchase the other shit to put in it. Because I can't afford it. That's kind of fucking retarded in my opinion. Oh, I don't know if you knew this. One of the few things that the ATF does not regulate. Black powder under a pound. You can purchase it anytime you want, anywhere you want. You can have black powder under a pound. At any time. Anywhere. Like it's nothing. It's black powder. It's under a pound. You know, it's basically a pint bottle. That's a pound of black powder. Nope. Rip Curl, I can't get anything locally. I actually went down to the local stores around here that are supposed to carry that stuff. Not only do they not carry it, but their suppliers don't carry it. Which tells me, no, we're just not going to sell it to you. Tell me something. If I walked in there with my duds all nice and snazzy, had my suit and jacket and tie and all that, and the nice slacks on, different hat, you think they'd treat me the same? Do you know why I wear it like this? Because one, I ain't going out and buying Gucci every fucking weekend. I don't have money like that. Secondly, and more importantly, it's serviceable. It'll do the job. The fuck do I need to replace it for? If it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And thirdly, but most importantly, motherfucker, it's comfortable. The fuck you want me walking around in a scratchy ass tweed jacket with a fucking pair of dress pants that's going and climbing up my ass crack looking for the fucking woods? You really think that I'm coming in to buy black powder and fucking pistol primers and ball and all that shit to go to a church function? This is the questions that I have to ask people around here sometimes. Because I swear to God, even smacking them across the chops ain't gonna make a fucking goddamn bit of difference as far as the sense is concerned. I brought this down there to the store. Mind you, I didn't bring it in. Just brought it down there to the store so that when they had what I was looking for, we could size what I needed. Like, for instance, I'll do it again so as y'all can see. Very simple, very easy to take apart. All I'd have to walk in with is that. Literally. Now, if there's no primers on the back and there's no loaded shot or ball, and no powder in there, this is just a heavy lump of steel. It is not considered a firearm. It's basically a rock. So I could walk into any establishment with this motherfucker. Like it's nothing. Long as there ain't a primer on the back, actually. Because once there's a primer on the back, then it's a loaded firearm. Go fucking figure. That is the firearm. That is just an apparatus that holds a firearm. And you see is what my point is. It's like, this is irritating as fuck. I have gone through the ringer and had nothing more than goddamn heartache from these people trying to tell me, well, sir, we don't sell that because our suppliers don't sell that, which is a lie, because I know your suppliers. As a matter of fact, they're my family members, people. So in case you ever get a wild hair up your ass to try and tell me that, oh, well, you know, sorry, but this particular hardware store doesn't sell that. Yeah, you do. You just don't want to sell it to me, let's be honest. Because here's the reality. My family owns your business. Not the location, the chain. But I digress. If I were in Ogden, Utah, I could fucking walk to the local Edwards hardware store, or the Smiths, or the True Value, any of those three. Walk in with about $75 and walk out with ball, shot, wad, and cap. And I could do all of that after, of course, walking in with the full fucking pistol solid. What's the problem elsewhere? Oh, I know. It's because y'all see the big old scruffy beard. You see the tattered kind of looking brim of the hat and, you know, holes in the shirt and whatnot. And you think, oh, I'm a fucking ghetto piece of garbage. Fucking the homeless fuck that doesn't know how to dress properly comes walking into my establishment smelling like armpit sweat and a bad attitude. Dude, guess the fuck what? Here, look. I'm gonna show you something. You see all that? You see all that out there? That's me working my ass off before you woke up this morning. So, I apologize for my armpit sweat, but I ain't gonna apologize for you making me have to drag my sweaty nutsack across your forehead for being a dumbass. Plain and fucking simple. Just like the 1800s, unless you want to violate the fucking Constitution. If you own a general store, which is what True Value is, that's what Edwards is, that's what Smith's is, that's what Smith and Edwards is. If you own a general store, then you need to carry what is considered to be general grocer. That is shot and language, all accessories for personal protection, weapons, and items. Foodstuffs, dry goods, and believe it or fucking don't, steel in its raw form. That is a general store's dedicated list since the fucking 1700s. But that doesn't exist no more. You know what shot and language is? I'll clue you in. Shot for your pistol or your rifle or your cannon, shot. And language, meaning the stuff to make it move, powder and caps. Yeah, they will. Because that's what I was talking about with the $40 fucking hazmat charge. Oh, and just in case y'all think that I'm bullshitting about that hazmat charge shit, so we're clear. There's a few warnings in this particular manual that actually denote why there's a hazmat charge. It's over here in the state warnings, I think. '24, '23, '24. How you're talking. Come on, it was there. It's not there. Okay, so it's, where's the state warnings? There's a freaking state warnings one in here. I was reading it just yesterday. State warnings. Here we go. Right there. California. The reason why there is a hazmat charge. Children are attracted to and can operate firearms that can cause severe injuries or death. Prevent child access by always keeping guns locked away and unloaded when not in use. If you keep a loaded firearm where a child obtains and improperly uses it, you can be fined or sent to prison. Delivery drivers are basically children with a fucking driver's license. If you didn't know. But let's get to the other ones. Lead exposure. Melting lead and casting lead objects will expose you and others in the area to lead, which is known to cause birth defects or other reproductive harm and cancer. I'm getting there. Hold on. Okay. Right there. Never carry a cylinder that is capped because it's a firearm. Duh. That's why they have to say that. Doesn't mean that that was not the way that people did it back in the 1800s. It just means that it's not exactly the safest thing. Whatever. Okay. Here's the other reason why they have a hazmat charge. Right there. Warning. Black powder is explosive. Please review the warnings of this manual regarding black powder. There's your reason for having a freaking hazmat charge. Because, like I said, delivery drivers are basically children with driver's licenses. And so that they don't go and make a big mess, we pay them a little extra to keep their noses out of the packages. Yeah, that's what modern smokeless powder is made of by the way, Majik. It's called pelletized clade nitroglycerin. If you didn't know, it's basically dynamite that's been turned into little tiny pellets. And yeah, I know how to make all of that shit, but I'm not even going to play around with this. This is a matter of the metal is not appropriately hardened to be able to take modern ammunition, modern explosives, like nitroglycerin powder. All right. See, the reason why I can't get what I need is because I have a total of $100 to spend on it. And because of me having to go to 4 different companies to get what I need, and there being a $40 to $100 surcharge each time that you make a purchase of a hazardous material such as lead or sulfur molybdenum grease, or for that matter, Elay primers or fulminating mercury primers or tetraiodide primers and black powder, because all of those, every single one of them is a hazardous material. And in order to make the purchase, there is a surcharge to it. Unless it's all as one purchase, I would be spending about $400 versus, instead of that, spending about maybe $85 to $100 all told, because it's all in one purchase. And this is what's actually pissed me off to that point, is that the ATF and all of the other bullshit that they've fucking thrown down has made it impossible for people who are not regulated by the ATF, because of the way that they choose to live their lives and how they do things, are still forced into this bubble of stupidity that revolves around the ATF. And yeah, it is a truly beautiful pistol. You know, when I first bought this pistol, and I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, but when I first bought this pistol, me and my cousin were sitting there talking about how Wyatt Earp carried a pistol with a 13-inch barrel. That's actually an inch longer than this one. That barrel would have actually been this much longer. Okay, 13-inch barrel. The one that Dixie Gunworks sells under the Wyatt Earp name is actually a 10-inch barrel, in order to make it so that it's safer. Yeah, I saw that one, Majik, and Song, I also saw that bullshit. That's why I bought this when I did, because it was like, you know, at least I got it. And if they come to my house saying, well, you can't have that, I'm gonna be like, you sure that, Hoss? You gonna make that decision? You gonna make that mistake? Because understand something, to me, my life doesn't fucking, it ain't worth fuck all. And y'all made it that way. So I just want to make sure that y'all are clear that your life ain't worth even what mine is to me, and y'all are going to start some shit. Just want to be clear. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Look, I'm going to put it this way. It would probably be a sight better if they avoided the treatments. Funny shit, but it's true. I hate that. I'm not agreeing with ATF, regulating and stopping people from, but no, listen. Without the mental health treatments and being forced to confront their problems and actually deal with the situation, they could actually work on productive means to circumvent their mental health issue, like yours truly did. I have an anger issue. Believe it or don't. I fly off the fucking handle on a moment's notice if somebody actually puts hands on me. I'll still shout and scream like a motherfucker. But there's a way around it. I have learned to be able to control it versus the way I was before. Now, that being said, other people might not think that that's okay. I'm in fuck it. I'm in Vernonia, Oregon. So to travel out of state, either I'm going to Washington, which they don't sell it there, they won't sell it there, and it's actually illegal to purchase it there. And everywhere else is 500 miles out of the way. So, yeah. I could purchase this shit in fucking California. Not 90 miles away from where I used to live in Los Angeles. There's a Bass Pro Shop. I used to go there all the fucking time. You know what they had stock of? They didn't have stock of standard ammunition. They didn't have stock of air gun projectiles. They didn't have stock of anything for air guns or standard firearms. They had bows and arrows. They had fishing poles. They had camo. They had hunting equipment. They had camping equipment. And they had black powder. That's actually why I ended up having to purchase my air guns online. Was because Bass Pro Shop didn't have air guns at the time. Now they carry air guns, but they don't have the black powder shit I need. It's fucking retarded, in my opinion. Because I could purchase all the shit I need for my air guns from fucking Bass Pro Shop, but I just was online looking at Bass Pro Shop, and 3 out of the 4 things that I need, sure, I could get them there. One of them's Pyrex I don't want. Another one of them happens to be primers that are too big for the pistol that I bought, but whatever. I can fuck around and fix things. I'm not an idiot, and I do happen to know chemistry. But that's neither here nor there. The one thing I could not fucking buy there, the one thing I couldn't buy at the Bass Pro Shop, of all the different shit that I needed, this is going to blow your mind. Of all the different things that I needed, I could not find wads. Wads. Black powder, pistol primers, lead, sure. Wads? Their suggestion on their blog. You're going to love this. That's what they suggested on the wads. Ball up a piece of newspaper. Wait, aren't the wads supposed to stop a chain fire? What the fuck is newspaper gonna do? Make it last longer? Yeah, Medford is a ways from here, though. I'm on the northern half of Oregon, about 25 miles outside of Portland. You're on the southern half of Oregon, about maybe 40 miles outside of Wairika, California. So, and I drive through there all the fucking time. It's just a matter of, yeah. It's still 300 miles away. They don't carry that shit here. I went in and I looked. I went. The most that I've done thus far is look down here in town, here in Vernonia, where, believe it or don't, like I said, it's all veterans. It's all fucking outdoorsmen and fishermen, hunters, and fucking homesteaders up here. There are no fucking pansy motherfuckers up here, and you cannot purchase black powder. You can't purchase shot. You can't purchase primers. You have to source out of the fucking country for it. No, they won't. I actually asked. See, that's what really pisses me off is I asked them if they would special order it, and they said, we're not going to do that for just one person. Which is, I'm pretty sure, the response that about 20 people got before me. I mean, I already have to, get shipments from fucking Sweden and the Czech Republic in order to feed my air guns. So I kind of saw that this shit was coming, but it's irritating, man. Fucking Oregon. Can't even ship in black powder and black powder accessories from California. Now you tell me, who's the more commie of the bunch? That's what I want to know. Who's the more commie of the bunch here? Is it California or is it or get a gun? Because I keep on wondering now. Like, motherfucker, I just literally just want to sit there and be like, I'm going to hang you from your toes and wait till your head pop off like a ripe plum. Because about that's all good it's going to come of it. I mean, I want you to understand. Yes, I've gone fishing since I got here. Every single time that I've gone fishing, my nuts have been in my throat. Because I am not a stone's throw, and I know it. From literally, not a motherfucking stone's throw from the motherfucker. I could literally beam the motherfucker on the head with a spittle wad. So, why might I want me to have a black powder pistol with something behind it? Let's see here. I like trout fishing. I like outdoorsmanship. I like going picking berries out in the woods. I like going and finding different plants in the woods that I get to go and plant in my garden. And it just so happens I have a fish pond and I have chickens and I have a dog. All three of which are like prime motherfucking targets for wild animals. Yeah. Again, I looked at it. The closest Sportsman's Warehouse is in Medford, so I'd literally just be driving 300 miles to get it. The what I have up here is I have a Dix. They don't sell firearms of any kind. Actually, I think that's it. And the True Value down the road. Martin Arms went out of business, which really pisses me off because I was kind of banking on that place being there, like, you know, that's where I wanted to go to get things done. Because Martin Arms, you know, actual gun store. They went out of business. The city shut them down. Yeah, I'm not FICO. Look, because I'm trying to point out to you, it would cost me $150 to drive to California from here, or about the same to drive to Medford from here to purchase the same shit that I should literally be able to walk down the fucking road right here and buy in a store. Because, and I quote, hardware and general store. Yeah, but Rip, you still would have to end up paying the hazmat fee, which is $40 per pound of hazardous materials, and or no, it's $15 per pound of hazardous materials plus $40 for any explosive materials, explosive or flammable. So that's the reason I'm having the problem with buying it from the store in the first place, is because they want to send it to me through the fucking mail, and in order to send it to me through the mail, they have to pay all this extra fucking money so that the delivery company will send it. Hazmat prices. Yeah, I could literally make my own black powder. I can make my own ball shot. I can make my own primers. But here's the thing. Some of those chemicals are hard to get your hands on without, you know, special permutation. I don't know if you know this, but trying to get your hands on tetraiodide is really fucking hard. It is called touch powder for a reason. The same thing applies for Eli and fulminated mercury. It's really hard to get your hands on that freaking on the chemicals necessary to make it. The final finished product, you fucking buy that all over the place. But here's the rub. You got to pay special hazmat prices. You've got to fucking source it. You've got to make sure it's a readily available source, so you don't go driving all the fucking way across the country just to get told, well, sorry, dude, you're going to have to walk out of here with your dick in your hands because we sold the last box an hour ago. It makes me mad on a level of, hi guys, I got me a paperweight. Ain't it pretty? I swear to God, it's like people around here think that I'm going to end up going and shooting the fucking rats with the fucking 44 or something. I don't know if you noticed this. This is to all my neighbors. That's the biggest thing I've ever shot. Well, I'm willing to shoot at a rat. It's 25 caliber, and it's a pellet for an air gun. That's the biggest thing I've ever fucking wanted to shoot at a rat. Why the fuck would I want to pull out a 44 for that? So get that out your minds. The reason why I would discharge a 44 in my backyard is because I'm about to be mauled by a fucking bear or a panther, mountain lion, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, Portland, Salem, Eugene, and apparently a bunch of people live on the outskirts somehow because they all got their freaking hands in the cookie jar, even though they live and work in Portland. They own houses out here, so we have to deal with their fucking bullshit ass legislation. It's irritating, if you mind. As it were, since I don't have the black powder to fuck around with and even make fucking reenactment blanks, which is something that I wanted to do just to kind of fuck around and goof off a little bit, you know, because you can, as long as there's no projectile in it, it's just a fucking noisemaker. Well, can't even do that. Can't even do that. So I'm gonna have me some herbs. I'm gonna smoke some weed. And you know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna do the Freedom Forum here on this particular vid. I'm just gonna call this rant open. Let's just fucking do it that way. Fuck the bullshit. I am so fucking violently pissed. I kind of need me some sit back time and some chill. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the Freedom Forum here. Y'all, you're welcome to come up if you want. Otherwise, I'm just going to rant and rave on these motherfuckers pissing me off. So, go ahead and invite. Copied. Post and paste. Come on, fucker. Paste. Thank you. Chat. And one moment, please. A bone for picking. If I could just get to the damn live stream without... Oh, fuck off. Spoogle goo. Exactly. That's pinned at the top. If y'all want to come up here, that's entirely up to you. Me personally, I will be taking my happy ass time and chillaxing. And yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy myself because fuck the bullshit. Oh, I'm gonna have me a toke though, because seeing as how can't even fucking go out and enjoy myself. No, so for you. Fucking, and these motherfuckers want to call us Nazis. I feel like the boy named Sue, I tell you. of these days, life is going to catch them upside the head, and I pray to God I'm there to watch it happen, because it'll be fun. James, if you wouldn't mind, let me see your face real quick. I actually can't let you up here until it, and that's just how it is. I can't see nothing. I saw nothing but black screen. So yeah, it's a reality that I can't let people up on a panel because we have been targeted in the past, porn bombed and whatnot. And that's just something that nobody wants to see, man. Like, don't nobody want to be fucking bombed or none of that shit. That's fucked up. I mean, I know magic, but at the same time, you can't see shit. I still see nothing but a blank screen. Fucking. Let me reload my shit real quick. Apparently, it's not letting me view whether or not you're even there. I don't know. I can't tell because all I see is a blank black screen. Sorry, Magic. If that is you, brother, I'm really sorry. I can't see nothing. I'm really trying here. I know it ain't Cat. He's sitting there telling me it ain't him because it ain't dark enough there. I mean, I'm willing to believe it's you, but at the same, I got to say, you got to understand. I can't see shit on the screen means I'm not sure. Fuck it. All right, fine. I'll take a risk. I'm gonna take a risk right quick, but StreamYard. I'll take a risk right quick, and I'll let you up. But I'm God, this is gonna get flagged. And it's gonna get taken down. I already know. Okay, fine. One of these days, I'm gonna fucking catch a break, or I'm gonna break someone's neck. I swear to God. This shit's getting irritating. It might be, it might not be. It might be my end. In my opinion, this is fucking Nunky Sam trying his damnedest to make it so that we can't talk and we can't fucking communicate about shit because he likes to see me sit here and squirm. Well, Nunky Sam, I got some news flash for you, son. The pistol was for bears. This is an air gun. All right. But this one don't shoot pellets. And that's one of three. So all about that whole horse shit about, we can't, we're making him squirm. Sweat off my nuts, motherfucker. It might be that you didn't allow permission for the StreamYard to use your camera and microphone. That might be it. Well, oh, shit, I missed him, Rip. Hang on a sec. What caliber? 44. Number 11 primer. And triple F because, or, 3F because Pyrex just, it takes more to ignite it, and it burns hotter with a higher pressure, which is why it's slightly more dangerous to shoot Pyrex than it is black powder. But yeah, that's all. That's to you as to your questions. Yeah, 44. This 44 ball and number 11 primers. I'm pretty certain. Okay. Yeah. Magic. The like I said, it wasn't a rush. It ain't no rush. You can come up anytime you want. Like I says, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. When you're all in a fine and happy, you can come up whenever you want. And I'm not forcing you to. You don't have to. Like I says, if you don't come up, all I'm going to do is sit here and rant and rave and talk and holler and have a good time. Because there ain't no other reason to do anything. You know? And I pray to God I ain't going to end up having to, stare down a bear or nothing, which it probably won't happen in the next, couple of months or something. So I've got time to get things in order. It's just, I'm pissed because I put a lot of money into getting, something for my birthday. This is the one time out of the year where I get to do for me. Every other point in the year, it's all about everybody else. Christmas, I don't even spend with my family because, it's like, well, I can't afford to give them presents. And things that I need is what I purchased for my birthday. Like, for instance, 5 years ago, I needed an air gun that would put down a rabbit. I needed one. It wasn't a question of want. But because of the fact that I only get that kind of money around my birthday, that's what happened. I spent about $600 on this thing, or $400 on this one. Then I realized what I was doing down there on the border was getting dangerous. People were shooting at me. People were trying to kill me. And they weren't Americans. Americans, they'll shout at you first. These motherfuckers weren't shouting shit. And when I shouted out, don't shoot, I'm an American, motherfuckers redoubled their efforts. So I says to myself, well, then I need something I can respond. So I went and I spent $700 on this gun to be able to have something to be able to respond with. And I did not get this until I got up here to Oregon. Now, I'm up here in Oregon, and I'm thinking to myself, well, it's kind of hard to carry a rifle in public here. There's just too many people. And there's a lot of them that are fucking just pussified. They'd see a gun and they'd go, oh my God. He's gonna go hurt somebody. He got a gun. I don't know if you know this, But to those of you who are of a left-wing kind of persuasion, I heard this from somebody who was so liberal that she literally called herself a progressive. Okay? That quote is, hurt people hurt people. All right? They don't give a shit about what they're using. It could be a baseball bat, could be a fucking lump of rock, it could be a fucking piece of wood. It don't matter. It could be a fucking 2x4. It don't goddamn give a dick. This young lady, well, I call her young lady, but you know, she's a couple years older than me. This young lady was Los Angeles born and raised. All right. Her exact words were, hurt people hurt people. Not hurt people with a gun hurt people. Not hurt people with a knife hurt people. Not hurt people with an explosive hurt people. No. Hurt people hurt people. Literally, hurt people, comma, hurt people. Think on that for a second, because the reality of it is, people who are hurting inside are the ones who go out and try to commit atrocities against others. Because they feel some slight, or they feel some necessitation. And that is the hurt that they feel. It is up to you to stop the hurt. Now, sometimes you need to have that extra little bit of something to stop them from hurting others long enough for you to be able to stop them from hurting. You see how hard that gets? It doesn't come from a place of wanting to go out and hurt someone. It comes from a place of wanting to help someone. Funny enough, I like to be able to protect myself. I like the ability that should the situation arise where myself or others and others, what have you, are in the instance of being endangered by somebody who has lost their mind and wants to do harm, regardless of what they bring to hand, or if it's fists and feet, which have accounted for more human beings throughout history than any other weapon. I want the ability to be able to protect myself wheresoever I do go. I used to do that with an air gun, because air guns you can pretty much go anywhere with, just about. And just like air guns, you can pretty much go anywhere with a black powder gun, just so long as you carry it appropriately and carefully and righteously, and don't be going and pointing at people's faces and shit. Duh. Hell, did you know that if you walk down the street with a Louisville Slugger in fucking Los Angeles, California, you will get fucking arrested by the police for having a weapon, brandished weapon in public, just for having the baseball bat on your shoulder? Because it's not in a bag. I was riding down the street on a bicycle with a piece of wood over my shoulder, like such, literally like such. I'll tell you, an inch square, really was an inch diameter. It was a handle for a rake. Riding a bicycle, one-handed on a bicycle, riding down the road. From the hardware store with the motherfucking receipt tacked to the front end of the damn thing. Pulled over by the police for brandishing a weapon in public. motherfucking pussies. That's Los Angeles for you. Bunch of goddamn crybaby pussy wimps and gangbangers. Plain and simple. I seldom have seen an upright and righteous motherfucker there. That being said, most of the rest of California are really hardcore righteous motherfuckers. Some of my best friends out there, literally every single day that they walk around, they got a fucking pistol in a pocket. They got a fucking, a pistol on their hip, or they got a fucking hand grenade in their chest pocket. Like, I know a dude that actually walks around and has a fucking hand grenade in his pocket. That's his concealed carry weapon. I mean, think about it. Literally freaking in the fucking coat pocket, it's a hand grenade. That's the ultimate fucking persuasion, in my opinion. You just fucking, we gonna have a problem, son. No? Okay, then. The fucking hand grenade, dude. Like, how do you decock a fucking hand grenade? That's not the fucking craziest shit I have seen down there. Okay? I swear to God, that's not the craziest shit I've seen. That's just saying that's one of those fucking crazy things I've seen in fucking California. A dude that literally walks around with a hand grenade as his personal protection weapon. Yeah, he's got a Glock. Yeah, he's got other fun shit, but he carries a fucking hand grenade. Perfectly legal. He's got his CCW. He's not doing anything stupid. He's not going out and fucking, fucking around. Not hurting anybody. He's just fucking carrying a hand grenade in his fucking coat pocket. I thought it was the craziest shit. This dude literally, on 4th of July, he walks around with a bunch of fucking M80s stuffed in his pockets. That's what this dude does. Lives down there in Blythe. Craziest son of a bitch I've ever met. This motherfucker literally goes around and does crazy shit. That's all he does. I mean, I used to walk around with a fucking hammer in my backpack and an air gun in a place where bears and pumas will eat you. Down there in Blythe. Yes, we've had bears down there. Pumas are all over the fucking desert, as are jaguars. Y'all don't know this. It's true. Arizona, California, jaguars. Yeah, they're coming right on up. Hell, I'd argue this, Meji, this is a tool. It has a very specific use, but it is an extension of my hand and is utilized to complete a task. Tool. Right? And the funny thing is that California ain't got any wild jackasses except in the cities. I want you to think about that for a second, because Arizona has wild jackasses. All right? They actually do have wild jackasses. They have wild jackass mules, running all over the desert on that side of the river. But you cross over the Colorado River to the California side of the river, there is not a single fucking wild jackass. Make you think, wouldn't it? And it's not like they can't just come across the river whenever they goddamn well please. There's 2 fucking bridges and a couple of shallow swell bars. They could come across, just across going from one bank down across the other way. They don't. Okay. Yeah, I do. I smith a little bit. I'm a bit of a smithy. That's actually one of my family names is Smithy. But here's the funny shit. I'm a scientist, okay, of multiple different disciplines. A scientist, not a Scientologist. There's a difference. A scientist, multiple different scientific disciplines. And at the same time, I know a wizard, motherfucker. Y'all won't get in trouble. Y'all want to start some shit? I know a wizard. He's a wizard, Harry. Yeah, I see. This is the thing that I find is kind of funny. Well, I spent $400 on this, right? I could have made this with the knowledge that I have, not necessarily the tooling that I have right now. I'd have had to buy a bunch of tools, but I could have made this all on my own, right at my home, having knowledge of how they actually work and the fact that, I know how all of them are put together. I could have made that. I chose not to because I thought, well, no, it might be better if I get the professionally made one first time. I could do a lot of different things. I'm freaking amazing with a torch, with a hammer, with a chemistry set. I could take a bunch of freaking glassware, like in the house glassware, and use just regular old, drinking glasses and whatnot to make things like black powder, trinitrotoluene. The list goes on and on. Yeah, I could, because I know the synthesis. I know, well, I don't know the synthesis. I'd have to reference the synthesis, but I know how to go through the process. So I would be able to reference the synthesis, be able to go through the process and get an end result that is either damn close or exact on to what they have coming straight from the factories and the manufacturing places. The difference is I don't have the license for it. And that's why I don't do it. See, the license allows you to make more than a specific amount. Under that amount is considered what's called personal use or private use. Okay? Things that I learned when I was younger. It's a good thing to learn a little bit about the law where, especially the federal ones. The federal ones are the ones that the state laws cannot infringe upon because they already exist in the federal. And the independent laws, if anybody knows about this, the ones that pertain specifically to the individual, trump the federal laws. Basically, the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, this, that, the other, if you envy your neighbors, this, that, or the other, work towards gaining it for yourself. Do not attempt to go and steal. Do not attempt to go and monger or purchase. Now, it's basic laws, but they're actually laws in America. Those are what are called the independent laws. They are the individual laws which pertain to how you need to govern yourself. Notice how I said you need to govern yourself, not nobody else governing you. You need to govern yourself. These are the law. These are what's called moral law. All right. Sisyphus with thy lies, pick up. I had to one time just to fucking giggle. Maccabees. Or Maccabees, if you were of that particular persuasion. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by and hanging out here. I'm a ranty son of a bitch, but I've turned it into a freedom forum sort of thing. So at this particular sector of the video, feel free. If you want, links at the top. Otherwise, hang out, listen to me rant on. Because I got a few things. Good to know. Good to know. Smith and Price. Oh, and Caruso, Fusco, Giuseppe, and Benelio, Gelati. Oh no, Gillette. And there's so many people on that side of the family. It's just all right. You got to understand. There's so many different family names on one side of my family, and then on the other side of the family, there's like 3. It's freaking hilarious. Price, Smith. Well, no, there's more than 3, but you get what I'm saying. On the one side, there is enough I could make a whole video just on that side of the family. All right. And then on my dad's side of the family, there's like 4 or 5 different family names. It's pretty quick and easy off. Black, Tanner, Cutler, Smith, and Price. I see. Yes, you are a wizard. Majik, you are a wizard. That is true. You are we got pinball wizards. We've got freaking wizards with wands, wizards with the pews. We've got wizards with tech. So yeah, it happens. That's a lot of data. Yeah, doesn't matter if it's unlimited or not. They will bottleneck it after a little while. They do the same thing with me. I pay for unlimited talk, text, web, and data. That's that is my across the board. If I'm purchasing a plan, that is what I go for. It doesn't matter exactly the cost of that, as long as it's in a monthly cost and I can meet that monthly cost. Because I need to be able to talk to y'all. I need to be able to, do my book. I need to be able to make the purchases I need to make and keep in touch with the folks as I keep in touch with. So I need to have that data capacity. So I understand. Majik is a cool motherfucker, y'all. Yeah. Maccabeus, you are very correct in that. They are foundational names. Just like yours is. Yours is a far older foundational name, I'd say. A lot of folks don't know this, but the book of Maccabees in the Bible is about the Maccabean Wars fought between two tribes of Israel. So, food for thought. They got a really, really old foundational name. I mean, I got Smith, Price. These are pretty foundationally old names. Stewart on my mama's side, you know. That's a pretty hefty foundational name if you know where that comes from. So, as I was saying, you know, we got some foundation here in the chat. We got some foundation here on the panel. That's just how it is. We've got centuries of history that have pushed us to be who we are. And that's one of the reasons why I am the way I am. I don't know if you all know this. I am a rebel. I'm a rebel fart from the word go. Sometimes I rebel, don't even know what I'm rebelling against. I just got to rebel. But, you know, all the same, I come back to humility. I come back to humble. I come back to care. I come back to contrite and to righteous. Not everybody does. It seems like a lot, Magic, but that ain't a lot right now. You know, nowadays, it's not that much. Yeah, because you catch up on them squirrels now. I'm trying to catch up on the freaking chat myself. Yeah, 300 years of down home. Damn strict. Y'all may not know this, or you probably do, but Song of the South here on YouTube is my cousin in real life. My second cousin. Right. Because direct, not married. Yeah, the second cousin. All right. Song of the South is my second cousin. Related going back there to a great, 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 great granddaddy, John Black. Is way back there. My family tree on my daddy's side kind of looks like a grapevine. The family tree on my mama's side kind of looks like a fig tree. Or, yeah, like a cliffside fig tree. More like. It's kind of funny. Yeah, only one problem. AT&T is the only one that works up here. I'm having to pay $150 for unlimited talk, text, web, and data. And I'm sure they throttle it, even though a lot of the time I can't even keep talking at y'all. For sure. So there's a discussion going on right now on another forum, all right, where folks are talking about the stupids and back and forth about reliability of the black powder arms. And because I know that you're gonna weigh in on this, but I got a foot to stick up someone's ass on this. Holy Lord, there are some misguided, unfortunate souls on this platform that do not understand that when you light something on fire that is meant to chemically dissolve in a very energetic and rapid manner and is made to that standard, it's going to do it when it has the appropriate measures met. It's called a chemical reaction for a reason. It reacts to what you do to it. If you have a chemical chain reaction, that's what you see in most modern firearms. That's where a primer is struck by a firing pin after a trigger is pulled, okay? And that hits the primer, that then detonates a small priming charge, which conflagrates and then deflagrates and then detonates a secondary charge, a propellant charge, which forces that bullet down the barrel and out the other end. Now, the same thing is happening with a black powder gun. This is how a black powder gun works. The hammer strikes the cap, or the flint scrapes a piece of steel off of the striking plate. This falls into the priming pan, the priming solution, which on a flintlock or on a percussion, the pressure and flame coming from the percussion cap meets the priming, is the priming solution being met with that little peephole that pushes it through, puts a pinhole of fire and flame into the back of the charge. That charge begins to burn rapidly. Or on flintlock, the hot ember from the strike plate goes down into the priming charge. That flashes off, shoots a priming charge down the tube into the main charge. This main charge now has started to deflagrate, and there you go. At the same action now, the ball moves down the barrel and out of the gun. It is a chemical chain reaction, no matter which way you slice it. Hell, you could even go with that as far as the air guns are concerned, but that's for a different particular on that, because those are air guns, not firearms. Either way, you can still use plasma, and either way, they still have the potential to make a piece of lead fly through the air along a linear path. Lead flying through the air along a linear path has the cross-sectional density necessary and the impetus necessary to have the momentum to put that piece of lead past your skin. The faster it's moving, the more linear the travel, the more it has the ability to do so. It's simple physics. Chemical reactions happen when you make the chemical reaction happen. If you're paying attention to what you're doing and you're utilizing things appropriately, guess what? It's going to work. That's just how it works. I hate it when people get on this level of, oh, well, it's black powder, so it's not as reliable, it's not as effective. Hold up. Okay, I'm going to explain to you a few little tricks and things of the trade for black powder, which is why these idiots keep on ending up having problems. Okay? Because what they're doing is they're using, for the first and foremost, they're utilizing percussion guns because they are thinking, okay, well, it's the closest thing to a firearm, to a modern firearm that you can get without having to do all this extra special bullshit. Let us walk through the manual of arms. Okay. To half cock, pull out the center line, remove the cylinder. Okay, now close everything up so that it's not falling around. Drop the hammer. Manual of arms is when the percussion cap is seated appropriately on that nipple there. If you can see it, each one of these is a nipple. Here, stop focusing on my face, you piece of turd. Okay, each one of those has a nipple in it. The notch in between each of those is the safety mechanism. Each one of these chambers is supposed to hold powder, then wad, then lead. I know what they say, and what they say is wrong, because hear me out. This is how the Navy did it, and it's for a good reason. This is also how frontiersmen did it after hearing about what the Navy did. So hear me out. Powder, then ball, or powder, then wad, then ball. Then taking wax from a candle, drip directly onto the ball at a space of at least 5 inches from the charge. Wax, drip directly onto the ball until it is flush with the top, trimming any excess. Then turning the cylinder over. We see where the nipple's supposed to go onto here. I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do in order to load a black powder pistol so that you stop having these malfunctions because of your lack of utilizing the manual of arms. All right. Now, what I'm about to show you is called a depression impingement tool. I made this myself yesterday after getting the gun, specifically because I saw a need for one. Where I stuck it at is another question, but it is a small piece, a wooden dowel basically, with the end of it is honed so that you can depress the caps specifically down into the cylinder. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing the wooden piece, I'm going to basically show you for shits and gigglies. No, I found it. Never mind. So here it is. This is what is called a depressor. See how you hold it in your hand here, okay? It conforms to your hand. You're supposed to utilize just a little bit of force until it seats just enough to be steady and not moving, okay? That's the reason for the wood. This is made out of witch hazel. It's also the material science is going on here. Pay attention. You take said pistol, once all ball shot and everything is loaded and done up correctly. In order to cap the pistol, place the cap on the nipple. Then taking your depressor, place it in the groove here, which is provided on the pistol. And catching the back end of the cap, press down until the cap seats completely and does not move. Removing that, keeping your hand free from here, because if you go too hard, it'll discharge. The bullet will shoot out of here. Okay, and that's why that has that little depression there, so it can actually glance out and go away. Okay, instead of coming back at you or blowing up and shredding your hand. Keep your hand back from there. But you're supposed to literally hold like so. As you can see, my hand's behind the cylinder. Placing your depressor with your hand cupping like so behind. Seat with 3 presses at least. The cap on the back end. Now that cylinder is ready to fire. This is the manual of arms for a percussion revolver. If you do not seat the primer, it will fail to fire. If you do not coat with either grease or, for that matter, a grease wad, or for that matter, wax, you will get the black powder soaking up water. You will get failure to fire, and you will get delayed fires or chain fires because you failed to follow the manual at all. You see what I'm talking about with these dumbasses that don't know what they're doing? It does piss me off because they're sitting there talking about, oh, it's unreliable, this, that, and the other. No, you are unreliable. You are incompetent. If the pistol malfunctions, it's because you failed to follow the manual at all. Plain and simple. The way this pistol works is half cock. You can spool and span this pistol to be able to seat and to be able to impact bullets and powder and whatnot. Okay? At full cock, every time, one of those nipples is lining up with that hammer. If you don't have a nipple on there, if you don't have a cup on that nipple, do not let the hammer fall unhindered. If you do have cup on that nipple, it will fire every time. As long as the cup is seated. This is why I have these issues with this stuff. It's like, come on. It ain't rocket science. The reason why you had a failure to fire, the reason why you had a failure, this, that, or the other, or a chain fire, or this, that, or the others, you did not follow the appropriate manual at arms for a black powder pistol. The reason why the Navy did it a certain way was because they would be dealing with a lot of water. In fact, there's one final step that I didn't talk about in the Navy manual of arms, and that is, after you have seated every cap on the cylinder, taking the pistol to half cock and a candle, drip wax to seal every single cap from water and spray. That is in the freaking 1800s Navy manual of arms. And if you're not going to pay attention to that, do not think of yourself as knowing anything about black powder, because the reality is that the Navy was the first. Let's be honest about it. When it comes to percussion caps, they were the first. The Army didn't do it first. The Navy did. They figured it out. They used it on the cannon, then they started using it on pistols and rifles. Beforehand, it was all flintlock or wheel lock or matchlock, depending on time frame. The Navy were the first using percussion. Navy and civilians. The Navy were the first to actually get it right, in my opinion. So pay attention to history, because history is there to teach you valuable lessons that if you fail to learn these lessons, it is going to bite you in the ass in the future. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Micro lessons like that are amazingly important. The manual at arms, a black powder Navy revolver. Come on. And not only that, the manual at arms of operation of your black powder Navy revolver. And this is not a Navy revolver. This is the Texan or Buffalo bore from Dixie Gun Works. Okay. It's a very well-made piece of equipment. And I will be, at some point in time, I hope to God, taking it out and having fun with it. I am going to end up having to do some hard work, probably, in order to be able to even load it, because let's be honest with each other, without an act of God in Congress or several $100s and several months of waiting, I'm not doing this on a production style sort of thing. If I want to do it like yesterday sort of thing, I gotta make my own black powder. I gotta make my own freaking caps. I've got to make my own primer compound, and I need to find ways to do that with what I've got under my sink. That is incredibly dangerous. I do not recommend that you do it. In fact, I recommend that you do not do it, because it's dangerous. And that's why I'm going to be waiting until I get the production shit together and doing all that. But I wanted to put this out there like, hey, this is what we have to face as Americans in order to enjoy the right that we call our own. You know, this inalienable right, this inherent part of who the fuck we are. And I have to jump through more hoops than a goddamn fucking tiger at a circus. What the fuck over? I mean, and that's just for a black powder gun. That's just for an air gun. I am so sorry for those who are having to deal with the fucking ATF and modern firearms. I couldn't handle the stress. My heart would give out on me. That's why I don't fuck with it. You want to know the God's honest, fair, and you know, straightforward truth. Reason why I don't purchase a modern firearm? My heart would give out on the stress. It would kill me. My heart cannot take it. Physically speaking, I would have a heart attack, because it is that goddamn lunacy beyond the freaking fringe. It is dancing in the freaking devil's pale moonlight sun, sort of crazy. I cannot get on board with anything that is firearms legislation. Doesn't matter. Across the board. If it has the word arms anywhere in the legislation, I cannot get on board with it. There's a reason why we regulate arms being, you know, legally speaking, arms are set as long blades, long arms. Okay. short arms, small-edged weapons, and antique arms and obscure weapons. There's a reason for those. The most regulated out of all of them, the most legislated out of all of them, do you know what that is? Modern short arms. That's small blades and small modern firearms. Most highly regulated. If you don't believe me, go and try to buy a short barrel rifle. Tell me how it goes. If you don't believe me, go and try and purchase a .32 automatic in the pocket conversion system. Tell me how fucking hard that's going to be. The pocket conversion system means you can swap out the barrels for 22 caliber or 25 caliber. You can swap out the magazines, 22 and 25 auto. And the spring pressure is the same. These guns have been around since 1910. All right? John Browning was the first one to make them. He made the ammunition for them, too. Go and try and purchase one of those. They call them Saturday night specials. You ain't going to get one without an arm, a leg, a Form 4, a Form 1, and a 4473, and a personal inspection of your rectum while they rectum. Oh, and if you want to purchase the ammunition, you're going to get laughed out the building. Just telling you. They're going to laugh you out the building. Why are you buying 22 long rifle? Why are you buying 25 automatic? Dude, I got some 9mm right here. I got some 45. Try to buy one of them little fuckers. It's a royal pain in the ass. You can't even be an adult human being and fucking buy a little gun. You buy a short barrel rifle. The ATF will literally inspect you for cavities in your teeth from the back end. And y'all think I'm crazy. I've watched it happen. I watched it happen to me. I went to go buy a fucking Marlin Model 60 when I was a young man. Denied on the background check, the next background check. So they came in and they arrested me at my own home to do a mental health awareness check because I had a little tiny fucking thing come up on the background check. I had spent 5 years without purchasing a firearm or having any other problems. Because I tried to purchase that firearm, that Marlin Model 60 fucking squirrel gun on a consignment, no less. I got slapped with a 5250. That's what California does to you. Fuck their red flag law bullshit. It is not just unlawful. It is an act of war. It is outright an act of war on American citizens and on their rights, specifically the liberties of American citizens. It is an act of war. It is specifically set up to stop you from getting a firearm ever again in your life, no matter where you move to. I mean this on this God shit. I'll tell you right now, if I moved to freaking Idaho right now and I tried to go and purchase just a regular old modern firearm, having the address in Idaho, ATF would say, not him. Oh, but I could have, black powder guns. I could have air guns. But something that actually has a track record for more misfires and more malfunctions than a black powder gun or an air gun, I'm not legally allowed to have that. That's funny. That is fucking comedy. That is fucking just absolute, pure, unadulterated comedy. A poorer track record, and I can't have it. But a better track record, when utilized appropriately, a better track record, and I can have it. What the fuck? These people are crazy. First, they call me nuts. All right, they literally fucking call me crazy, and then the only weapons I can get are the ones that are more reliable and more efficient and more legal to get. Good question. Like, supposedly I'm not supposed to have this until the rest of my life. I could be responsible as all fuck and show everybody that I have the responsibilities necessary. I have the mental capacity to be able to understand what is right and wrong and how to utilize this and when to utilize this and what to utilize it for specifically and in what situation and how to do that and what to do in those specific situations to not get myself in fucking trouble and in order to stay away from the bullshit and not actually have to have the nightmares. But I can't carry what I actually want to. Welcome to America, motherfuckers. Goddamn shame. It's a goddamn shame. Yeah, there's applications for that as well. There is a process for felons to get their gun rights back. Unfortunately, that's only felons. What about the people who were misdiagnosed? What about the people who were, because of certain biases, had these red flag laws used against them, were contra to popular belief? Those who go into the mental health profession, or not in the profession, I'm sorry, into the mental health administration, once they are part of the patientry, all right, once they're part of the pageantry of that, it is more profitable to keep them there than to say, we made a mistake. Regardless of feelings, it could cost them their jobs to tell somebody, no, he's not crazy. Matter of fact, that person is one of the most loving people we've ever seen. Not crazy, passionate. But not crazy. Not insane in the slightest. You know how hard it is to get somebody who's in the mental health profession to actually say that? That's actually what got me out of going down for an attempted murder charge. Was a psych doctor saying, no, he's not crazy. He's a very loving individual who is very passionate about what he does and tries very hard to walk a very fine line and understands that every now and then you have to cross that line in order to protect lives. That's literally what this whole thing was about. Turns around, the judge goes, all right, you know what? We're going to put you on probation. If you can keep your nose clean, then we'll sweep it under the rug because it will never happen. Yeah, okay. Anyways. Rip. Maccabees. All right. Y'all enjoy them flash blue suits now. Sure hope you appreciate them. See, I put it just a slightly different way, Maccabees, because it makes it easier for me. Give me liberty, or by my death, grant me the same. Because either way, I ain't got to deal with your dumbass no more. Because to me, that's literally what it is. Liberty by any other, a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet, right? To me, if you're going to kill me, you're taking me out of the equation. I no longer have to fucking worry about it. That's why nobody wants to fucking hurt me. That's why nobody wants to kill me, because it's like, well, he doesn't have to suffer then. You see how low I have to go, but you also see how high I can bring myself afterwards. I don't have to fucking suffer if you shoot me. Do you really think that my life is worth a goddamn to me? If you're going to go out and hurt people who I value, that's the way I look at it. Other people are worth way more than me as far as life worth is concerned. All life is important. I'd rather not have to utilize lethal force if I can help it. But if I must utilize lethal force, the only thing that creates the hatred necessary to be able to pull that trigger for me is that I hate the fact that you are forcing me to do it. That's what pisses me off. That's what makes me hate, is that you're forcing me to do it. I wouldn't want to have to do it in the first place. Fair and honest. I've always been the kind of feller just be like, all right, decock and bygones are bygones, motherfucker. But you throw them bullets, expect for them to come back at you. That's the way I always looked at it. If you're going to be slinging bullets and you're slinging them at somebody who can shoot back, you best be willing to have them come back at you. And if it's your time, it'll be your time. And that's a hard thing for most people to grasp. They don't get that ideal. Fate chooses, not the triggerman. He's just the unfortunate bastard who has to be stuck in the place. And at the time, in that current situation, where he has no other choice but to deal with what he has to deal with. And I says he as a kind of a, don't take gender specifics here. This shit don't fucking work with me. When I say men, that means men and women. When I says he, that means he, she, it, were, there, them, they, dog, cat, pancake mix, don't give a fuck. Okay? That's my point. I ain't talking genders here. I'm talking person. It's a reference of person. So this is one of the things that really pisses me off. Motherfucker, I don't give a shit. You look like a man, so I'm gonna call you a man. Doesn't matter to me if you're actually a man up here. Because if you look like a man, regardless if you got a pair of hoodies, I'm still gonna says him. Hi, ugly. I'm Fugly. Nice to meet you. I thought that was a rat. Them rats ain't freaking leaving my chickens alone. It's been all summer, you know. I was expecting that the rats would be gone during the summer, you know, because it's summertime, there's more out there. But lo and behold, they get used to something to eat that is there all the fucking time, that's not that far from their house, and where do they want to go? It's like when you go out to eat. You go to like the Sizzlers or the Denny's or, you know, the Black Iron. You know, there's probably other places that are a hell of a lot better for you to eat at. You know, as far as per your physical ability, but you don't want to go that far. You just want to be like, you know, ah, shit, it's 5 miles down the road. Let's go there. You know, because it's only 5 miles. It's not 35 miles to go to this really nice fucking restaurant where it's not that expensive, but the food is really freaking good and really good for you. No, you'd rather just go to the fucking Greasy Spoon just down on the corner because it's just as cheap and it happens to be close. Yeah, I'm fucking loving it myself. Welcome to the freaking middle of summer. I need to be putting water in the pond here pretty quick. The water's gone down and my fish are probably I still got aeration going, so that works, but fish are probably going, fuck, man. It's a little too, the water's down too far, man. Hey, don't feel bad, brother. I was so ugly when I was born. My mama, she turned over, looked at me, and went. That's funny as shit. I joke, by the way. That wasn't the truth. Uh, I got a lot of stories, you know, a lot of jokes that start off with, you know, when I was born or when I was a youngin'. I think one of my favorite ones was keep an eye peeled for that one. It might come up in a conversation. I think one of my favorites ones was I got some jokes. Squall daddy in a squall pond. A squall pond. Damn. When I was a kid in middle school, kids used to tell me I had a face only a mother could love, and I said that, hey, you must not know. My mama pukes every time she sees my face. I used to freaking bust kids' balls when I was in middle school and high school. Yeah, sure. Not so much in high school. I was more of a drugged up idiot at the time in high school, but in middle school, I was a jokester. In grade school, I was a super scholar. Yeah. Oh, mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back this time again tomorrow, carry on, carry on. Nothing really matters. Hey, Magic, did you get lost, brother? I'll put it this way, bro. If you ever get lost, there's a place you can find right in the back of your mind. Reminds me of the saying that someone is so ugly they got to sneak up on a glass of water. Hey! Yeah, yeah. That sounds like something my grandma would say. See, my grandma, she had a way about her with them sayings, I tell you. Like, for instance, if you wasn't listening to my grandma, she'd look at you right square in the eye and she'd be like this. She'd go, now, boy, you listen at me and you listen at me here. I come across this table and I slap the piss out you now. That was my grandma. She had another saying. It was one like, that boy face shining like the first day of morning. It's one of those, like, she said that when I come back from hunting one day. It was like one of those beautiful things. I walked in the house and I had a big old smile on my face and all that because I went out and I'd gotten a full bag and whatnot. I got my limit and all that. I was doing righteous. I come back grinning from ear to ear, and she's like, "Yeah, boy, that boy smile shine like due morning." And I looked at her. I said, "Grandma, come here, look." And she comes over. She's like, "Oh boy, I got a brace coming. Y'all, we got some Marcel's at rabbit stew. Rabbit stew. How about you?" That's what my grandma. She was on about, like, hell yeah. See, folks, I'll tell you the truth. I did not cuss much around my grandma, except when she cussed. Except when she cussed. And when she was cussing, that meant she was drinking. And it was okay to cuss. But if you cussed at my grandma, you'd have about 9 different men flying across that table trying to beat your ass into the dirt. And my grandma just sitting there looking at you like, ain't gonna do that again now, is he? And my grandma Gloria, she's that proper Italian American kind of, just that proper Italian American kind of person. Just that woman don't need to say shit, and she'll make a man's knees numb. Swear to God, she don't gotta say nothing. She just look at you, just. And by God, I have been sitting in a room full of my cousins with my grandma sitting there, my grandma Gloria, and she just, like, somebody pipes up with something smart, and my grandma just turns around and looks at them, and you could hear assholes puckering. You could hear the popping around the room. See, I got peace on one side and war on the other. Come on, get out of here. Come on, B. Yeah, you're in the wrong room. Go home. Your home is out there. Come on. No, come on. Come on. You guys get lost, and it's such a problem for you guys. Come on. Come on. Out here. Come on. Poor thing. Oh. Yeah, they get lost thinking that this is their whatchamacallit here, and it ain't. Their hive is next door at the neighbors, and so They come over here and try to fly into the woodshed, and then they realize, I'm in the wrong place. So I have to lead them back out. Bees. So if you didn't know, I love bees. I'm just allergic to their sting. And I do talk to them because they talk to you, they listen to you, help them. Nah. Hey, funniest shit. I met this Apache feller when I was down there in Pomona. And I was like, Mehawa, Mehawa, Echona ne Kahokia ne. And he goes, we're mortal enemies. I go, what? He goes, yeah, we are warring mortal enemies. I was like, really? Ain't that some shit? I come bearing the hand of peace, the peace pipe. And instead you try to hand me a tomahawk. That's how war is perpetuated. So, if we are warring nations, and you hate me so, remember why we are warring nations. Because you're going to need to explain it in the end. Hey, that shit's on both sides of the coin, bruh. That shit's all, as far as I've found, it don't matter which facet of society you're looking at. There are those that hate, and there are those that try to accommodate those that hate, and then there are those that do not accommodate those that hate because they understand that hatred is where violence comes from. What was it? The dark side of the force and all that shit. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Well, nip it in the bud. Try not to be so damn angry. Even though, yeah, there's a lot of fucking good reasons for righteous anger, and I will never argue against righteous anger because in its moment, it is what is necessary. Even supposedly, even Christ wielded a bullwhip. Was it Simon Peter carried a sword? The peaceful fisherman carried a sword. The reason for that is because there is hatred in this world, and there always will be. You're always going to find somebody who's hateful because you're always going to find somebody who has been hurt by circumstance or by life. It's going to happen. How they face that problem dictates the character of who that individual is. But hurt people will hurt people. It's going to be it's just a natural order of things. I mean, I'm Roman Catholic on my mama's side, Protestant on my daddy's side. And at the same time, I don't prescribe to really any of it. I look at evidence. I look at things as I can prove. And then beyond that, I try to work things out. What I could verify. Hey, Eric. Good to see you. I'll put it fair and honest this way. You can call me hateful all you want. The only person you're lying to is yourself. I hate that somebody would push me to being an angry person or a hateful person. That's what I hate. I do not hate people, individuals. I hate what they stand for. Trying to force me to do things that I do not wish to do. I've got no qualms with paying for my goods, paying for my services. All right. I have qualms with it being an act of God in Congress, along with paying for my goods and services, along with waiting forever in a goddamn day to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. There's a few qualms there. Especially when, if I had a wild hair up my ass and I wanted to go the route of, I'll make my own primers with Armstrong solution and my own black powder with chicken shit, charcoal, and naturally occurring sulfur. I mean, if I really want to get a wild hair at my ass, I can do that. I don't want them. Just because it's dangerous. It's going out of the realm of intelligent. It's not what I want to do. But if forced to, what other options and prescription do I have? And yeah, I can be abrasive. I'm an ass. I'm a kind ass. And a lot of the shit that I says is stuff that people don't want to hear, but they need to. Unfortunate as it were. And because it needs to be said. I mean, let me put it this way. I could make, with what I got here in this book of matches, about 10 primer. 10 primer cap with what I got there. If I was saying to myself, well, then, dangerous is what it's going to be. Because I don't have any other option. I could make about 10 primer out of that book of matches. Again, the question is, do I not have that opportunity, that ability at this moment? I do have that ability to go and purchase this other stuff. It's going to be a pain in the ass, and it's probably going to take several months, but I could do it. Does that mean that I have to? Nope. I got plenty of lead. I got lead I can't use in my air guns. Now melt that down and make ball shot. I know enough about chemistry to be able to do anything with, chicken shit. I just don't want to have to do it. It's the fact of, look, I should be able to purchase these things within a short span of each other because of, here's the thought. Imagine for a second, maybe there are people in this world that want to kill me because I'm an abrasive fuck and a bit of an asshole, and sometimes I come across as an ass to some people and they want to take it out on me. And they get butthurt because I whipped their ass. So now they want to come after me with lethal force, which is, believe it or don't, the actual truth. I can't protect myself. If all I'm going for and all I'm doing was to buy that pistol, at this point, I cannot protect myself because all of these extra things that I need to go get are still weeks or months away. Thank God I have air guns, and I got real air guns, not some fucking pansy ass little BB gun. I mean, I got that too, but that's bygones, neither here nor there. Thank God I've got real air guns. Thank God I've got the abilities that if the shit were to hit the fan completely tomorrow, to the point where there is no more government, there is, it's the, world without rule of law, and we have to rely on the neighbor to the left and to the right of us. I'm probably not going to be able to do very much with my pistol. I may be able to barter some items or some goods to some of my neighbors for things, but it's a might, maybe. I would be making these other things myself. I would have no choice. The worst part of it would be coming off of nicotine, because I'm an asshole without my nicotine in my coffee. This is particularly reason number one why, when I was first told I could never have a firearm again, first thing I did was go out and purchase an air gun. This right here, this particular comment by the dude here is the exact reason. The police told me straight to my face, it is not my job to protect you. I'm sorry that you can never have a firearm again, but it's not my job to protect you. Okay. I went and I made $75 that day, and I went and I bought me an air gun. Now I'm trying to work towards having me something that's just a little bit better. I mean, I understand why somebody would want to be like the, Superman and freaking alpha male and all this shit. I understand it. At the same time, the way I was raised, I know I have to refrain from that because there's a likelihood I'm going to run into somebody who is always going to be bigger and badder than me. And that is why I'm not the asshole of assholes. I'm an asshole, and I'm just going to tell you raw and real. And yeah, I'll square up. I don't care how big a motherfucker is. But at the end of the day, I'm a fucking invalid now. All right? My choices are limited. Kill this motherfucker or walk away. Those are my choices. I don't have the choice. It's not an option for me to be nice, to take it up the ass. That's not an option for me. Honestly, it never was, but now especially, it's not an option. I'm not the soft doughboy kind of feller. I'm a broken man at this point, but I ain't soft. Weak. Weakness is in the eye of the individual, and in the instance of a fight, the individual who does not have the advantage. You never know what that is. My leader, I don't have one. That's why I rant and rave to the masses, because I don't have a leader. I walk my own path. And what pisses me off is that people are throwing stumbling blocks in my path. That's what it is. That's why I got the black powder pistol, dude. Mountain lions, bears. My 50 cal will freaking scare them. And yeah, if I get a good shot in, it'll knock them dead first shot. But if I even just miss slightly and just barely nick the bastard, I don't have a follow-up. That's why I got the black powder. Specifically. Lions, tigers, bears, oh my. My air guns are reliable as hell. Y'all know this shit. I mean, how many thousands of rounds already shot? Like, I don't. I ain't fucking around with that never again. Not never, ever again. Oh my god, Eric, I ain't fucking around with that shit no more. Thanks, brother. But yeah, that's fair and honest. This is why I did all this stuff. You know, I bought 44 because I was like, you know what? I need a bear gun. It's nice to have these other air guns, you know, for deer hunting, for rabbit hunting, for home defense. Great. Okay. What about going out there trout fishing in the woods? You don't want to be carrying around a rifle every fucking where. And not only that, but if you've only got one shot on a bear with a 50 cal, air gun, by the by, not a firearm, an air gun, 50 caliber air gun. You're gonna want some backup. You're gonna want some backup. Hell, hunting boar, I wanted some backup when I was up in that tree. Them motherfuckers tried to come up the tree on me. Swear to God. I actually had a boar try to come up that tree on my ass as I was climbing down. So yeah, don't for a second think that, you know, yeah, you want backup. Hunting, you want backup. Fishing, you want plenty of backup. And going out there without a firearm, without a means of protecting yourself while you're fishing, is suicidal. I want to make that clear. If you're doing that, even in the continental 48, all right, you are attempting suicide because of the bears, because of the mountain lions, because of the wolves, because of the wolverines, because of the wild dogs, because of the coyotes. If you are going out there unarmed, you are attempting suicide. This is why park rangers look at you funny when you walk out there unarmed, in case you were wondering. They don't see a gun about you. They're looking at you funny because they know you're you're going to be bear poo when they go walking up in them woods later. Swear to fucking God. I've actually asked these questions. I have found out to my own extent. This is why they look at you funny. When I went out there, I had my 22 long rifle. I had a freaking ranger kind of sitting there, just kind of giggling his ass off at me, just like, "You're taking that up there? That's all? That's it?" Okay. Quick reference. Do you have blanks? Okay, you do? Good. And then second, don't shoot at the bear. Shoot over the bear to scare him. Because that thing is going to make you get eaten. This is literally from a fucking park ranger. Looked at my 22 long rifle and laughed at me. Okay? There is a reason behind me saying, if you're going out there unarmed for the specific dangers that exist, you are committing suicide or attempting to. And nobody has any kind of any give a fuck for you. That's the reality. I'm sorry about that, but that's the truth. All right. The hunters are literally like the only reason why hunters are less preyed on by animals than hikers is because hunters have guns. That's it. That is the only fucking reason. And yet hunters still get attacked and mauled and eaten by bears, by mountain lions, by wolves, even by freaking wolverines. You may not realize this, but something about the size of a freaking Cocker Spaniel that has the claws of a cat and the disposition of a Tasmanian devil. Common up here in the northern part of the continental United States. Funny enough. Weasels, ferrets, stoats. Well, not so many stoats, but ferrets, skunks, possums, these raccoons. They'll still freaking attack your ass. They will still attack you. A deer will freaking try and kill you. So tell me something about this, son. Why are you going out in the woods without a gun? I mean, I know plenty of professional fishermen. They go out there on their boats or whatever. They go out there, crawling the shores. And the most that they have is a small pocket knife or a small side knife or a fillet knife. I'll be fair and honest. Even when I was fishing on my jet ski, I had my 22 on one side of the jet ski and I had my freaking fishing pole on the other. I'm not bullshitting about this. I carried a gun fishing for a very good reason. Human beings, we think we're the fucking apex predator, the biggest, baddest son of a bitch out there, the top, this, that, and the other. Let me put it this way. With these, forget about this, but with these, you ain't shit. Rats have these. Your hands don't mean fuck all. Your brain does. So use it. Because it's all you got. I mean, that's why I have air guns first. There's less involved with an air gun than there is with a black powder gun. You know, as far as operation and utilization. That's why I did air guns first. Black powder guns now that I've got my air guns, because my air guns are all set up. Everything's set right. I want to start now with the black powder gun. Because in certain states, it is illegal to hunt with an air gun. And still is legal to hunt with a black powder gun, even though the projectiles are moving at the same speed. Pretty much. Yeah, you think that, Magic. Never will the hunter become the prey. Motherfucker, I got preyed on by a fox. God's honest truth. Got preyed on by a fox. Sleeping in the back of my SUV with my rifle laying across my legs. This rifle laying across my legs. Sleeping. Had a fox come up and start chewing on my toes. The hunter can very easily become the hunted. I put a hole through that fox I could put my thumb through. And I did not end up having to gut the fox either. One shot from a 50 cal. Now, I will say this, you know, as a hunter, I became hunted by a fox. Then I hunted the fox. So we went tit for tat. But you got to remember these things. Foxes, wolves, coyotes, bears. They have one of these too. And that is why you need something that you can pull trigger and eliminate situation. Pull trigger and eliminate problem. I'll put it this way. I actually had this person tell me something about, you know, because I was able to walk around still, and, you know, I could lift about 16 pounds over my head, and I could lift about 100 pounds up to about my hips. That I wasn't disabled, because they were in a wheelchair, strapped to that wheelchair. And I said, do this. And they went like this. And I said, there you go. You're not disabled, because we can do the same thing. The depth of what I said to that person, I don't think they actually grasped it. At the time, anyways. I think that maybe they've gotten the idea by now, but you know, the point remains. Can you do this? Yes, then you are enabled. You are not disabled. You're handicapped, sure, but you are not disabled. You're not sitting there with a laser doing this. In order to speak. One of my cousins was for most of his life. He had to type with a whiteboard and a laser pointer in his mouth, using the laser pointer to point to letters so that he could talk to my aunt. You are not disabled. You are handicapped, sure. I'll give anybody that one. You're handicapped, sure, but you are not disabled. Now, I got this mind some days to just be like, you know, be an asshole to everybody, but I got to tell you, today I think that there's a seldom a set few folk that deserve my venom. Few people that deserve my venom. Not everybody in the masses in what hall. Just a few people that deserve my venom and vigor. Because they decided to make life hard for people. Look, technology is supposed to make things easy, not harder. I have to go and jump through a dozen different hoops in order to gain something that I should only have to go and jump through maybe one, if that. I'm not saying that life ain't hard. I'm saying these things should be easy because they are self-evident, because they are rights that are self-evident, if you know what I'm saying. These certain things should be easy. Instead, I have not in a long time come up against so complicated and convoluted of a method or means to gain personal protection in my life. And mind you, I've done some shit. I used to have a pocket potato gun. Imagine that shit. I mean, the things that I'd be willing to do to protect myself, and these motherfuckers here, jump through this hoop, that hoop, this hoop, that hoop, that. Okay, when you're done with all of that, make sure you do the ring around again. Hold up. Why am I getting paid for this? I'm not. I'm paying you so that I can go and then do this? Hold up. I smell a rat in the woodpile. And he ain't fresh. I mean, the reason why I'm actually purchasing the guns is because, get this, when I went to go and purchase body armor, when I actually went to go and purchase the body armor for myself, you know, so I could actually have at least something. It was $1,500 fucking dollars for a plate. That's not the carrier. That's not the second plate or the trauma padding or any of that. That's just the strike plate. $1,500 fucking bucks, man. Holy shit. My asshole puckered so hard my ears popped. And I says to myself, well, I'm gonna pay $1,500 for something that ain't necessarily going to stop the problem. It's just going to make it so I can live a couple of minutes longer. That's why I bought the guns first. Because why have body armor if it's not sufficient to stop the situation? And it's only going to protect you for a couple of strikes, 3 or 4 or 5, and you're done. Let's not talk about the internal trauma and hemorrhaging that's coming from those impacts. Let's just talk about the fact that there's no penetrations, okay? For $1,500 fucking dollars for something that I can't even wear yet. This is why I didn't buy body armor. That's why I said, okay, fuck it. The best defense is a good offense. Problem is I can't even become offensive because it takes an international act of God in Congress to get my hands on ammunition. Congress, I'm looking at you. By shame. I'm spending money on fucking pot instead of spending money on fucking ammunition. By shame. Yes, I need the pot in order to not be in sufficient amounts of pain to the point where I can't even see straight to be able to make an appropriate shot. However, do you see the dilemma that you put me in? Fuck it. Instead of, well, I've got this now. I'm able to protect myself. I'm able to go around in public just like everybody else. I'm able to be a good, honorable human being, show you that I can be responsible and negotiate life without any issues. But it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like going to church. You get told, fear thee not, for the hand of God is with thee, right? And God shall smite thine enemies. So you need not. I waited for 15 years for God to smite the fuck out of someone. I'm still waiting. But when I stopped waiting, I handed the absolute ass whooping of a lifetime to a motherfucker who decided that he was going to hurt me. So The hand of God may be what actually smote those men, but he acted through my hands. So, I backed away and I says, you know what? No, it weren't the hand of God. It was my hand. My hand defended me. I was accused of wrongdoing and evil for defending myself because everybody was expecting for God to come and do something. But what they forgot was that faith without works is death. So ask yourself this one question. Are you alive? So if you are alive, why do you have faith and no good works? Trust me, good works does not mean specifically not doing harm. Believe it or don't, this is actually the case. Story of the Good Samaritan. At the ending of the story, Jesus says, far greater will that Samaritan man be in the kingdom of my Father than those three who pass her by. This Good Samaritan does not believe in God of the Hebrews, does not believe in Yah. He believes in his own gods. But he could not pass by and see this person downtrodden and harmed and dying and not aid them. That act over the simple belief that it'll be okay because God has him saved that man's life and was in the eyes of God greater. That one act. So you ask yourself, if not to go out and do things, then why do you believe? Because God, and this is actually the teachings of Christ. For whosoever come to God through me, through Christ, has a voice in the kingdom of heaven. But for whoever acts to aid those of God's chosen, so too is their place assured. You got to remember that it's not just faith. You can't just sit there and think, okay, I believe God exists. I'm going to heaven. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. Read your Bible. Really, like you actually need to read it full context. It doesn't work like that. It works like this. Because I believe in Christ, and because this is the path he chose to take in order to show us how to be the best version of ourselves, I will attempt to take that same path. And along the way, I will utilize his teachings in order to aid myself and others. In doing so, I am doing him a service as a teacher, because I am trying to expound on what he taught. You see how that works? He did say, sell thy tunic and take up the sword, for in these days ye shall need it. Well, it's just a continuous question of why, therefore, would you go out disarmed? Why would you go out in any other way than swinging, trying to protect that temple of God? Thine body is the temple of Christ. Is that not correct? Well, if your body is the temple of Christ, then you must be willing to defend that body. And the adornment of art on any temple should not be an idolization, but rather a representation. So, if that's the case, all these buildings that call themselves churches are not actually churches because they have idols. They don't have art. Plain and simple. They are effigies of individuals. They are not art. Artistic expression. Whereas on this particular temple, okay, I've adorned it with art. Art that expresses who I am, thanks to the abilities that have been granted to me by my Creator. I've put this art on my person because it is something that I must always remember and I can never forget about. Something near and dear to me. So, in that respect, it is artwork. It's not desecration. It's not sitting there doing graffiti. It's artwork. So, in the respect of it all, tattoos are not against the Christian faith. They're not. If you may adorn the art of if you may adorn the temple of God with art, but not of idols or effigies, not things that you idolize, but things that are important to you, and therefore are artistic expression of who you are. There you go. You have adorned the temple with art. You have not adorned the temple with idols and effigies. Wow. Amazing. So the thought process I'm going along is, I have a right to defend the temple of Christ. I have the right to protect the life that the ancestors have given me. I have a reason to protect others. Because of their existence, I exist. You need to think about that. In a society of any kind, without the sum, the parts cannot function. They simply exist. Without the parts, the sum is not whole. So, it's on both sides of the scale. People think of me as being crazy and being some fucking out there lunatic and all this other shit. Something that's actually bothered me since I was a kid. You know, you think me crazy because I have a wild imagination. or you think me crazy because I am passionate about specific things that I know to be self-evident and to be true. Something that I was born to. Something that I will inevitably die for, or in the pursuit of, or what have you, in the enjoyment of. It defines my life. So why would I not be willing to keep it? And the way that I keep that is with my voice. Because nobody was willing to listen to my written words. I used my voice. When my voice was trodden and held back, I spoke amongst those that I considered friends and family. And I wait in the wings. And that's the way that I look at it. So if, y'all want to sit there and say, well, we got these 3 cartridge boxes, motherfucker, I'm sitting here waiting on my cartridge boxes, and I've burnt out the other 2. So what? This is my point. We are all parts of a whole, but we must function together. Otherwise, the machine does not run. We're all cogs in the machine. I might be a gear, you might be the combustion, somebody else might be the fuel, things like it. Just bear with me, all right? We're all cogs in the machine. Or the lubrication that makes the cogs run. Or the fuel, or the spark. None of us are the machine operator. That would be the system. And it bothers me that the system is set up to destroy the machine. Oh boy, it's warm in here. It's warm out there. It's warm everywhere. Probably cooler inside of the house right now, but I have some purchases to make, and I just sitting here. I'm thinking and wanting to go and get food and water and beer and soda pop and stuff like that. But I'm also sitting here like, come the end of August, I need to be able to put down a bear if push come to shove. Because of the fact that they might just come barging right in the backyard. I mean, they walk all over the place out here. Nobody gives a shit. But they come barging in the backyard. My dog is at threat. My chickens are at threat. My property is at threat. My person is at threat. And I do not have a way to stop that. At this particular juncture. I need to have that by the end of August, because that's when the bears turn from being, whatever, human, not worth my time, to you look like you're made of meat. I'm gonna be fair honest. I'm actually terrified. I'm terrified of the bear that comes through here. I've been stalked on the back side of the property over there next to the fence by a puma. The only reason why I knew he was there is I smelled him and I heard him. He was close enough to be smelled by me. And I'm a smoker. I should tell you some of that. So, yeah, I have damn good reason to have these guns. Damn good reason. Beyond the fucking, oh, well, human beings are fucking animals. People are monsters. That's just honest. People are fucking monsters. But you get also into the fact that there are real fucking monsters that live out here that are more scary than the people. And they want me to not be able to protect myself. Like, son, hold up. Look. I stood to the defense of the border. I aided military individuals in their traverse across this country. I stood for the defense of children who are being trafficked. The only fucking thing I ask is to be left the fuck alone and allowed to do it as it is that I see fit, because I do so morally. That's all that I've ever asked. Have a good one, Cat. I appreciate you, brother. That's really all I ever asked. I didn't ask for no extras. The extras were asked for me by somebody else on my behalf, funny enough. I didn't ask nobody for that shit. Anything else an extra was on my behalf by someone else. I wanted to be able to pursue my happiness and live my life. That's it. Why is that so hard to allow me to have? I did my duty as a Minuteman. That is, if you want to go and do a specific rundown of what the duty of a Minuteman is, that's the duties of a Minuteman. Aid in the common defense. I help to defend the border. Defend the Commonwealth. I was actually on the border. Give aid to veterans. I drove veterans across this fucking country because I felt like it. Because I wanted to see them get home. I pulled truckers out of ditches because it felt right. I helped folks that was gotten stuck in sugar sand get their happy asses out of sugar sand out there in the desert. Because there's Americans that needed help. I put my life on the line to protect an American citizen, knowing full well that the police at the time thought that I was the threat. I have stood to my duties. So I got a damn fine question on it. Why are you stopping? What is so horrible about the goodwill that I have towards men? I know I ain't gonna get an answer on it. It's just that I had to put that question out there. There's videos here on my channel that directly correlate to the situations that I just explained happened. They are me telling people what happened. There's a couple of those situations that don't have videos to substantiate them, which all those videos are me discussing after action and shit like that. But there are a few instances like, helping, veterans get home, where I took my gas, I took my time, I took my vehicle, and I did the wear and tear on me and the vehicle and going and doing to make sure they got home. And that wasn't just one time. Okay. That was, hey man, give me a ride. I know I'm asking a lot, but I got to find a way to get to Florida. I'm like, you want to go to Florida? Where about? Pensacola. All right, I'll get you there. That's a long way, man. You want to drive all the way to at the drop of a hat? Really? Yeah, I've been there once. It'll take me a week. I'll get you there. Guarantee it. Fuck, all right, man. Hell, I'll pay for half the gas. Here you go. Which was a boon. I didn't need it because I knew I had the gas and the cash and the vehicle right all together to be able to do that trip. But I saw somebody who had that need, and I did that. And it wasn't just that one time. I'm just saying that that's the longest distance I ever did. But there are other times where I just drop of, oh, yeah, I'll get you there. We were just sitting there talking. This is how I knew that the dude was a veteran, all right? It doesn't have anything to do with me actually doing the service. It was a matter of that made me feel that I had a duty doubly so. So no, when it comes down to it, you want to talk about a lot of duties, specific a lot of duties that the Congress put down for militiamen. Those are them. Aid the veterans in the community, aid the community, stand to the common defense, defend the Commonwealth, add to the economy. Okay. You got it. I stood to every single one of those. So why can't I pursue my happiness now? After having bullets coming at me, after having people, dealing with people and places and things that it just was not the highest point on my list of things that I wanted to do in life, but were appropriate to the duty. So why can I not now? These are the questions that need to be asked about, for Minutemen, because we already asked this about, about veterans and about the armed forces, police, EMTs. Yeah, we already asked this for them. But what we don't ask about is the average Joe who stands to their militial duties directly and catalogs them like I do, because I considered it a duty, something that you're supposed to fucking do. It's a responsibility. If you're asked to do it, you do it. Well, Why are we not asking these questions? Why are we not getting on that level? We do it for everybody else. We get all bent out of shape for all of these situations that are already in place. What about the fucking little guy? What about the peon? The guy who sees contact first and is normally the one guy that you actually like to have out there because he's going to be the one who's fighting them versus allowing them to just walk across no man's land and just take you out. He's the one guy out there in the fucking bushies. That's what I'm talking about. Real Minutemen. Not the fucking National Guard. That is Department of the Army. I'm talking about Department of Public Services. The Minutemen. The people who are there to do the do in the community. The militia. That's what I'm talking about. Why aren't we asking about their issues, what they're having to deal with? No, we are standing on the level of only the veterans and only this and only that and only that. Okay, wait, fine. I don't have a problem with that. Matter of fact, I extol you for having that kind of zeal. But we cannot forget the little guy in backing up the big guy, because that's how we lose people. That's how we lose having our backers. It's how we lose having those kind of people behind us that are willing to take those risks and willing to do those things in order to have a functioning society. Mind you, I've been doing this since 2005. It's literally, Minutemen, they're the first people on the fucking scene. Before the community emergency response team shows up, the Minutemen do. They're there. They're already on the fucking ground. You'd be surprised, you know. We call them by other names a lot of the time. One of my favorites is civilian. That's funny. That's a fucking lot of giggle factor there, because you compare American civilians with any other country in the world, and it is apples to oranges, man. There's no comparison, and you can't. It's two different types. Yeah, they're fruit, but what? I mean, come on. It's like the most heavily armed population in the world with the most amount of training does the most as far as public outreach and moral protection. When I says the most, yes, the military does too. Yes, the rest of the United States does too. But who's the one doing it? Who's the one who is picking up the crates? Who's the one who is shouldering the sacks of flour and the beans and the rice and the corn? Who's the one that's sitting there hauling a pallet of freaking ham so that they can make the stew so people can eat? Who's the ones that are going down there and dragging their asses through the mud and the muck? Yes, there's Army, Navy, there's Coast Guard, there's all these other guys. But who's there first? Who's already there doing it when those guys show up? The people who are stuck in the shit of it. Funny enough, they're the militia. They are the Minutemen. And if you look at it, you should actually be gaining a paycheck from that, from DPS, but you're not. A lot of people don't notice. As a Minuteman, you're supposed to gain a check. It's not much. Matter of fact, it's not even enough to furnish yourself with supplies or equipment. It's simply enough to say that you existed. That's literally what it is. That's the amount that you get. It's about, right now, it's about $1,100 a month. But if you're not seeing to these things, if you're not doing these things, and you're not getting out there and being a militiaman, you can't say that you are. And you can't go to DPS with any of that, because they'll still look at you like you're fucking growing 3 horns and fish heads. Fucked up funny shit is, it's in their purview. This Department of Public Services. You're supposed to actually be able to gain that through doing those particulars, but they don't do it. I don't know why. Probably because at the time that Congress put the kibosh on the organized militia, by putting those all into being the National Guard, the disorganized militia no longer were able to gain that paycheck. And instead, that money was rerouted and put into Social Security. A lot of folks don't know this, but your Social Security is actually supposed to be being paid to Minutemen. That's before Roosevelt. That's how that worked. That's where that money came from. Kind of piss you off when you find out, especially if you're disabled and a Minuteman. Well, not disabled, handicapped and a Minuteman. It'll piss you the fuck off. It should. Because instead of getting about $900 in Social Security, which is what I should be getting is Social Security, but hey, whatever. I would be getting $1,100 as a Minuteman. What I should be getting. And that is until the age of 65. At 65, it flips. And you have to either pay in, or the other side of it is that you can retire, you go into retirement, and you don't get a pension. This is not a pension system. You have to purchase an IRA or something like that. You have to actually stash it back. That's the difference between a Minuteman's pay, and a soldier's pay. A soldier gets pension. Firefighters, police officers, all of those parts of the armed forces all get pensions. The Minuteman does not get a pension, and he's not supposed to. And there's a reason behind that. I'm just gotta, I got some gripes. Here we are at 4 hours now. I've been going for 4 fucking hours. That should tell y'all something. There's something wrong with this shit. Like, there has been too many things that have come about that have been unrighteous towards individuals who do what I do. I want to give a big old shout out to BL Ranch. I want to give a big shout out to Cat Without the Hat. I want to give a big shout out to KP Heathen. I want to give a big shout out to Grant Harper. I want to give a big shout out to Johnny Harper Scout, y'all, thank you for doing what you do. Really. I want to give a big shout out to Bear Independent and Grindstone Ministries. Thank you, gentlemen, for what you do and for allowing us, the USPA, to be part of it for a short time. I appreciate it. It was an opportunity that I personally was not able to take part in physically, but I'm glad I was able to command that op, and I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, when it comes down to it, I really do appreciate the militia, and I ask y'all to appreciate them too. And you know, maybe we could start changing things for militiamen. Elevate them to where they should be. Because I'm not looking for my personal gain here. I'm saying for everybody that's involved in this particular situation across the United States. You all deserve a pat on the back. You're out there going and doing the hard things and doing the dangerous shit and being in the midst of it in the community when the police ain't doing it. The fire department ain't doing it. EMTs ain't doing it. The Army National Guard ain't doing it. That's not their jobs. They are the backup to you. So thank you. Thank you for being the earnest soldiers of freedom and liberty that you are. Because without folks like you, our country would have already fallen. I'm going to be fair and honest with it. The liberties that we enjoy today are written in the blood of our forebears. So whatever the case may be, whatever you do, try to make them proud. As it were, this is Yo Guardsman, motherfuckers. Here we are at 4 hours, and I done fucking talked myself into a knip. So I bid you adieu, and y'all have a good day. Because motherfuckers, I am out.